Hello, my name is Lindsay Brown. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about how the far left, if you want to call it that, are being programmed by their own people. Okay, so there are NGOs, government bodies, whatever it is that is organising these, the unions, whatever it is, they're programming the people that they say they're there to protect and stand by. They're actually being programmed by their own people, and I'm going to show you how that is through using the science of the mind. Okay, now I've studied the science of the mind for a long time. I've made big changes in my life through understanding it, and I'm going to, without getting into a full lesson on the science of the mind, I'm going to explain a little bit just so that you can get an understanding about why these guys repeating their slogans over and over and over again is programming them. Trying to think of some of the slogans right now, but I don't really listen to a lot of them because it's quite boring. Once they just start chanting the same chant over and over and over again, and then somebody else changes to another chant and they do that one over and over and over again, right? So I'll use my own story to explain this, but let me just talk a little bit about the science behind the mind. So you've got your conscious and you've got your subconscious, okay? Your conscious mind is, how I like to explain it, is your conscious mind is your thinking mind. So everything you're thinking about is your conscious mind. So you get up in the morning, you start having thoughts, whether they're negative or positive, whether you're excited for your day, oh yeah, I can't wait to get up for another day, or whether you're like, oh, I'll have to go to bed again, right? That's all you're thinking, okay? That's all you're thinking. And what your subconscious mind is your subconscious mind is your emotional mind, okay? Your emotional mind, which is how you feel, okay? So let's go back to that analogy of getting up in the day. So if you get up in the day negatively thinking, okay, so your conscious mind is your thinking mind. So if you get up thinking, oh, I have to get up again, oh, the day's gonna be crap, then you start to feel like that. You start to feel crap. You maybe stub your toe and you're like, oh, see, I've just stubbed my toe, and you're not high energy, you're feeling rubbish, because you're thinking negatively, okay? If you get up jumping out of bed thinking, oh, this is gonna be a great day, I'm happy to be alive, how are you feeling? You're feeling better, right? So what you always think about controls how you feel. Let's think about it if you, and I've always explained it this, if you're watching a sad movie, you're thinking about that sad movie, right? You're feeling sad. You might even bring a tear to your eye, okay? If you're watching a comedy, what are you thinking about? You're thinking about the comedy. You're thinking about the laughs. How are you feeling? You're feeling good. You're laughing. You're higher energy. You're giggling, okay? So what you're thinking about is how you're going to feel. That's why I always talk about that we control our own emotions. I'm not saying it's easy, okay? I'm not saying it's easy at all. But that's how the conscious and the subconscious mind works. It's how everybody's mind works. There's science if you want to go and research it. If you want to ask me for some books, you can go and look on. All the rest of it, no problem. I'll show you. Go do your own research. I'm not trying to gatekeep any of that. Go for it. Do your own research and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So anyway, let's use my story as an example. So back whenever I was at school, I was always told that, and maybe not in these words, but I wasn't failing, I was failing exams, I wasn't book smart, I didn't have money to go to university, I wasn't smart enough to go to university, I wasn't passing enough exams to go there anyway. So that repetitive behaviour of that coming through the education system, of making me believe I wasn't good enough, I then was telling myself that. So I was thinking that I wasn't good enough. Oh, Lindsay, you're not smart enough. Oh, Lindsay, you've just failed that exam. You're so stupid. Oh, Lindsay, you can't spell. You're never going to make it if you can't spell. Oh, Lindsay, you're just a stupid wee girl from a working class background, right? So that repetitive behaviour, okay, now this is me doing this to me, repetitive behaviour of me telling myself I wasn't worthy, me telling myself I wasn't good enough, that thinking, remember the conscious mind, that thinking mind of that repetitiveness of me speaking negatively to myself, then meant that I felt shit, right? I felt crap. I felt absolutely crap because I was telling myself all this horrible stuff about myself. So I was feeling shit. So guess what happened? I didn't put any action into my life because I didn't think I was capable. Because I had repeatedly told myself, and society had repeatedly told me that I wasn't good enough, right? Then I went down years of addiction, right? Then I started looking into the mindset and I started understanding this conscious and subconscious mind. And I went, all right, well, hold on a minute, Lindsay, you've been thinking that all the time that you weren't good enough. So it meant you were feeling like crap, which meant I was trying to numb myself with drugs, blah, blah, blah. What about if you actually think good stuff, think positive, tell yourself you are good enough, tell yourself you can achieve this, tell yourself you can do that. Then I start to get emotionally attached with those thoughts and I start to put more action in. I get onto the track, do really well in athletics. I have a lot further to go, don't get me wrong. I started doing my own business. I started believing that my story and my journey and the stuff I've educated myself on can help other people, and I started to do that, and it was all great. So what did I change? I changed that repetitive, negative telling myself I wasn't good enough for positive, still repetition, but positive repetition, positive thoughts of telling myself I was good enough, right? So then let's use that and let's go to these chants and these slogans that these guys are repeating over and over and over and over again. So they're being told by their NGOs or the government, whoever it is, I don't know, maybe they're the leaders of these groups, whoever is telling them to repeat this stuff over and over again. Well, I've just shown you, and if you actually think back in your own life, you'll know that anything you've told yourself repetitive, you start to believe. So when these guys are out there for an hour, 2 hours at a time, just repeating this stuff over and over and over again, that repetitiveness, then they start to believe it. And that is why they are told to repeat this stuff. If they actually wanted to really educate, the NGOs and the government wanted to educate these people, they would do that. They wouldn't get them to repeat the same stuff over and over and over again. They purposely get them to do that because they know the more they get it the more they get them to repeat this stuff, the more they believe it, right? So imagine all these people are out there repeating that stuff over and over again. They start to believe it. Well, they could have maybe spent that time actually really doing research, educating, finding out their own identity, finding out actually what maybe they have repeated to themselves in their life, where maybe they could have achieved something more, only they were repeating this negative stuff. So when you are repeating negative stuff all the time, then again, like I spoke about the conscious, the subconscious mind, that repetitive consciousness thinking of negative stuff repeated over and over and over again, that goes into how you're feeling, right? And that would then explain why they're all so aggressive, why they all struggle so much to have open dialogue and to control their emotions, and why whenever any citizen journalists or anything like that go to have an interview with them, they don't know how to control their emotions and have a proper open dialogue conversation. It's because all they've been trained to do is this repetitive behavior, so they can't actually open their eyes and see past that, because that repetitive behavior through their thinking, through saying that over and over again, has seeped through now into their subconscious minds, and they now believe that. Not because maybe some of them would have believed it anyway, but this is why they get them to do that repetitive behavior, and why I will never be involved in any repetitive behavior like that unless I know it's somebody telling themselves how awesome they are, how capable they are, and how brilliant they can absolutely be if they're willing to put the work in to do that. So that's just a little lesson, just a short one, an overview of why the NGOs and the government are getting these people to repeat the same slogans over and over and over again. It's not to benefit anybody else. It's to keep those people convinced that they're doing the right thing, and it's programming those people to believe everything the NGOs and the government are telling them, and it's damaging to those people, and it breaks my heart. And that's why you'll never see me at a counter protest going against these people, because I don't agree what's being done to them by the people that claim to support them, So guys, talking to yourself repetitively is great as long as it's the right stuff, and negative nastiness is never going to be the right stuff. So anyway, I hope you find that informative. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you on the next video.